This is the WWE NXT July 1st, 2025 full show results video. The show started with a match between Joe Hendry vs Wesley, and the result of this match was Joe Hendry defeated Wesley by pinfall when High Rise distracting Hendry, and then Mike Santana arrives to pull them down and even the odds, and then Hendry delivered a standing ovation for victory. Trick stands on the announce desk and stares his two contenders down. We get an earlier today backstage segment where Izzi Dame tries to convince Tatum Paxley that they're friends and Zarya tells her to go ahead and believe her nonsense if she wants. Back from the commercial, Luca Crusino gets on the mic, calling Tony D'Angelo down and saying he wants to put this to bed right now. Then Tony D'Angelo makes his entrance, bemused that his consigliere is calling him out. Luca says Tony thinks everyone is out to get him, and D'Angelo says that's right, he's so not out to get him that he cost him his title match last week. They bicker about who hit who in the face and Crusino says he's given D'Angelo the respect to listen to him, and now he wants him to listen to him. He left college with 1 year of eligibility and turned down offers from top law firms in the country for a job he's wanted since he was a child. He's given up so much for even just the chance to be in WWE, and Tony should know for a fact that he's never done a damn thing to doubt him, and he should know that that is loyalty. Channing Stacks Lorenzo makes his entrance then, and he thanks Luca for winning him the title, and the Don says this is exactly what he's talking about. Crusino tells him to shut the hell up, this is between him and Tony. D'Angelo agrees, it's between him and his consig Luca Dex D'Angelo. Stacks jumps in the ring with hugs and smiles for Crusino, but Luca decks him too. Crusino gets on the mic and says his loyalty lies with himself and he takes his leave. Backstage, Oba Femi is interviewed and he says he sees why Yoshiki Inamura has become beloved of the fans so quickly, but Jasper Troy is a mountain to be overcome, and he wants to see who wins. Yoshiki rolls up with Josh Briggs and Inamura says he's gonna win, and Oba says he is the only constant here and he'll be seeing the winner soon. Yoshiki tells him he won't be waiting long and he'll see him at the Bash. The next match happened between Lexis King vs Miles Bourne, and the result of this match was Miles Bourne defeated Lexis King by pinfall with a zigzag. Darkstate cut a promo taking credit for all the chaos in NXT lately and suggests that nothing happens without their approval. The next match happened between Lainey Reed vs Thea Hale. Collar and elbow, Reed with a knee lift and a mat slam, Hale rushes in defiant and takes her down for grounded elbows. Caught on a backsplash, wheelbarrow facebuster puts Hale into the turnbuckles and Reed follows with a German suplex. Big overhead elbows, stomps, choking Thea in the corner. Overhead elbow like a captive bolt pistol, a running elbow, rear chinlock applied to try and grind Hale down. Butterfly shoulder breaker, cover for two, Thea off the ropes, running neck breaker, cover for two, looking for the double wrist lock, Reed trips her up into a folding press, feet on the ropes but the referee catches her. Thea with an O'Connor roll, no deal, big knee from Lainey, this time the ref misses the hand on the ropes, and the result of this match was Lainey Reed defeated Thea Hale by pinfall with a knee strike and a hand on the ropes. No quarter catch crew are backstage chatting with Tavion Heights about his loss last week. Charlie Dempsey says Heights still needs more time in NQCC, but Tavion asks for the same deal that Charlie gave Miles. Ren Sinclair is for it, Dempsey gets browbeat into accepting it but says when he wins, they're not gonna have this conversation again. Back from the commercial, Jasper Troy cuts a promo about how he's gonna beat Yoshiki Inamura and then win the NXT Championship at Great American Bash. The next match happened between Izzi Dame and Tatum Paxley vs Sol Ruca and Zarya. Ruca and Zarya clear the ring at the bell, Sol gets to work grinding Paxley down in a waistlock, Dame helps her out, Sol on the wrong side of town. Izzi crashes to the floor, Sol tags in, Zarya with a fireman's carry, Ruca jumps off of Paxley for a plancha and then Zarya military presses her into her own teammate. Dame with a big dropkick to Zarya, whip to the corner, Paxley tags in, dropkick connects, quick tag back to Izzi with a wacky double stretch in the corner, short arm lariat, cover for two. Sol trips her up on the apron, Zarya picks Dame up, fireman's carry, she floats out, codebreaker connects. In the end, Zarya accidentally spears Sol when Tatum pulls Izzi out of the way. Zarya furious, she gets low-bridged by Paxley, Dame goes to work on Ruca, and the result of this match was Izzi Dame and Tatum Paxley win by pinfall with a spinebuster from Dame on Sol Ruca. Ava Raine is meeting in her office with Ricky Saints and All Ego Ethan Page. Ava wants them to keep it civil and Page says going forward he will dictate everything about the NXT North American Championship on his terms. But he is a fighting champion and he's in a fantastic mood, so he'll let Ricky earn a title match if and only if he survives the Vanity Project Gauntlet. Jackson Drake fakes a cough like he's afraid, but Saints says he doesn't mind because when he beats the gauntlet he wants to pick the stipulation for his title match and Reign likes it and makes it official over all Ego's objections. Back from the commercial, we get a Chase U vignette where Andre Chase apologizes to Cale Dixon and Uriah Connors. He says tough love is the only way he knows, but they helped him bring Chase U back. He went ahead and got Cale a singles match. He just wants him to promise him he'll listen to him and show everybody he's Chase U tough. Joe Hendry and Mike Santana are interviewed backstage and they more or less agree to work together to fight the High Rise next week and bring the TNA World Heavyweight Championship back to TNA, even if each of them thinks he's the one that's gonna do it. Back from the commercial, the Culling are hanging out backstage with Tatum Paxley and they're all smiles and congratulations. Ava Raine rolls up to tell that Izzi Tatum gets a NXT Women's North American Championship match at Great American Bash, and she thanks Tatum for helping her. Hank and Tank roll up to accuse the Culling of attacking them last week. There's lots of bickering and screaming. Tatum defends her new friends and challenges them to put the tag titles on the line next week, and Ava books it and leaves them to their bickering. Then we saw a match between Jasper Troy versus Yoshiki Inamura to the #1 contendership for NXT Championship, and the result of this match was Yoshiki Inamura defeated Jasper Troy by pinfall with a diving splash, becoming the #1 contender to the NXT Championship. Post-match, Inamura has a confrontation with Obafemi on the ramp while J. Yvonne Evans drops Jasper Troy in the ring. Jordynne Grace makes her entrance and gets on the mic, and she says getting to this point is the hardest thing she's ever done, but she thrives under pressure, and the bigger the battle, the bigger the win. She's walking into Evolution, a storied event not just for WWE, but for women's wrestling, and she's going to make history. She says she's been thinking lately, and she's had to get vulnerable and ask herself if she really belongs here in WWE. A lot of us know her journey, and she didn't grow up saying she was born to be a WWE superstar, but she did everything she had to do to get here and became someone they couldn't ignore. And at Evolution she's gonna beat Jacy Jayne and remind herself who she is, because she may not have been born for this. Then comes Fatal Influence, and Jacy Jayne calls her pitiful and she might be able to bench press a ton, but she can't carry this division, and maybe one day a title will magically fall into her arms, but it won't be her NXT Women's Championship and it won't be at Evolution, because she's at the top of her game. She keeps talking a little bit more before Jordynne's finally had enough and tells her to shut up. Jacy shocked the world, but when she beats her at Evolution, it's gonna be no surprise. Fatal Influence attacked the challenger and beat her up until Blake Monroe makes the save. She and Grace manage to fend Fatal Influence off. Ava Raine appears on the stage, and over squabbling from Jacy she books Fallon Henley and Jacy Jayne against Jordynne Grace and Blake Monroe at the Great American Bash. Fatal Influence return to the ring for more brawling, but the babyfaces take them out with ease before high-fiving and the show goes off the air. How much you would rate this week's NXT show? Tell me in the comments, and thanks for watching.